Hello everyone, this is Jillian Downs, or the Oilpaintpixi, with another quick drawing video. Let's get started. First thing we're doing is I've already looked for a while at the bird and studied what it looks like in general, and I'm starting by shaping out the general outline, but considering the shapes. So I'm looking at general shapes, basic shapes, like the wing is kind of like a triangle shape, his body is very much an oval except for near his head, which is kind of like a cone with a ball at the top. And I'm structuring that in, but I am going to tweak it as I go along. And I should note, for this first stage, I'm using vine charcoal to set my drawing in so that it is easy to wipe away and erase if needed. Okay, now that I have the general shape in, I'm going back over and, like I said, tweaking and refining the shapes that I see more in the organic way that they are. So curves becoming curvier, some sections I'm cutting short. Where I see the backside of the head, I'm adjusting for the way that the bird's head actually is in the drawing. And I'm going to start adding in some values next. Okay, and as you can see, I've now switched to using an HB charcoal pencil. What this will do is actually set my drawing in place, and it'll be a little bit more permanent, but still the HB is pretty light and I can erase if needed, and it should lift off the page pretty easily. While I'm using this pencil, my goal is to again continue tweaking the shape, but start also filling in the inside of the bird with some values and texture. And for this step, I really want to start thinking about the line direction as I'm moving my pencil around. Birds have a lot of feathers, and there's no way that I'm going to sit there and draw every single tiny little detail of the feather when I'm starting out. The main thing I'm trying to do right now is just set in the line directions, so the way I think it's going to flow, and also get that first layer of charcoal down so that I have more to manipulate and move around as I continue to add layers of darker and darker charcoal. Alright, and now I am moving into the 2B charcoal. This is a slightly darker charcoal, and it's going to make more of a quick effect of contrast. So as I use it, I want to be careful, a little bit more careful about where I'm placing it. And my goal again is to continue laying down the different layers of feathers and keeping a similar line direction as I do that, though this time I can be a little bit sloppier with it because I am, again, just layering on more charcoal. So I'm really just thinking about the areas where the contrast is dark and plotting in those darker shapes. Later I'll be pulling out the lighter colors and doing this again with even darker tones to really refine the feathers. Now I'm picking up the white Conte. I am going to use this for plotting in any major highlights that I want to really set in place. Obviously, I've been leaving some spots a little bit lighter and pulling out with the eraser every so often, but this is a great way to just plot in the bigger highlights and make them really distinct. And leveling up to the next darkest color, the 4B. I'm going to use this to really start putting in those dark colors, which is also why it was great to use the Conte to set in place where I want the highlights to be before getting to this really dark color. This big blending stump is wonderful. I highly recommend getting one of these if you have never used them before. They are great for smoothing out large areas where you kind of want things to flow together and you just want them to blend all at once. And that's one of the things I love about charcoal is you can place down a lot of different types of charcoal and then brush one of the blending stumps over it and it all blurs together nicely like a painting. I'm also going to use that blending stump for the background, so I'm just plotting in the idea of the flowers right now. I'm not being 100% perfect about the way they look because I'm going to blend them and then add additional dark colors on top. I'm just getting the idea across. The last things I'm going to use are a smaller blending stump for some fine detail areas, and also a great tool. This is a mono eraser, which I highly recommend as well, because you can pull out those tiny little details that you can't get with a normal eraser. It's just like a little pen that has an eraser on the end. Alright, and that's basically it. We have gone through our 4 steps of looking and thinking, finding and drawing the overall shapes, finding the textures and drawing the line work, the way it flows. And then our last step is just adding the pizzazz, and we are all set. I hope you enjoyed this video and it is helpful for you in your art making. Until next time.